Hey, what's up guys? Man, what a nice day. It's gonna be hot, I can tell. It looks like we might get a little bit of rain, but not really sure. How you guys doing today? Doing good? Right on. So I'm standing here in front of this beautiful piece of machinery. Betty, 1989 Marmon 57P Aero. Man, I love this truck. You know, she's got her fair share of problems. She's been used and abused. She's hauled logs for a number of years. And, well, the engine's got a problem and we're gonna get after it, find out what it is. I'd like to take the hood off today, but I don't know if I can do that by myself or not. We'll see. But for now, let's get this hood up. Let's get some injectors out of it. Get a look down at those cylinders, eh? All right, so some of the things we're gonna do, we're gonna get this exhaust clamp off so we can take the turbo and exhaust manifold off if it comes to that. And got this engine side cover off. Nice thing about old Betty here, she's got these nice parts trays, so we can just get things off the truck as needed and get them right out of the way. So get some of this air piping off, and we'll just put it inside the truck for now. This side's probably pretty good. Take these valve covers off, get these Jake brakes off. Let me get you where you guys might be able to see. So these are the Jakes, and we'll take off these big bolts and these small ones, and these Jake housings will lift off. We'll get the front one and we'll get the back one, and then we'll get these covers off. We'll get in after these injector lines, and I've got the tool to take the injector out. And we might leave these covers on, but we'll get these Jake housings off just for ease of getting to the top of those nozzles. So we're going to need some big tools and some small tools. What we got here? Three different size bolts. That's awesome. So these are just standard Jakes, 346. Supposedly there's a super Jake called a 349 that does a really good job with these Caterpillar motors, but I've never seen one, but I did read about it on the internet. These are pretty loose. Get them by hand. Okay, got a long and a short, and a couple nuts. Now it's important that you get the spacers correct. There's some spacer washers, and it doesn't matter which one goes on the top or which one goes on the bottom as long as they're the same. Supposedly. So these two spacers were under the nuts, and we'll just remember that that's how that goes. We'll get them both off. Doesn't surprise me that you can't just lift it off there, because it just doesn't. And then the spacers that'll be underneath there, I'm going to put those on the other side so I can keep track of them. Okay, there's one. And I'm gonna set it on the tire. I'll get the other one off, and then I'll climb down. Okay, there we go. Okay. Alright, so these four, these are the thin ones, and they go under the jakes. Alright, and I'll probably watch myself do this job so I can remember. Alright, so it's very strange. These are important. They prop the jakes up here, and then these are important. They're the jake props on that side. And this engine's super clean inside. I mean, not to the point where I think diesel fuel's been running in there, but more to the point that you know, it doesn't look like there's any metal in there or anything like that. So I think whatever damage is done to this engine is sitting damage, not running damage. Alright, so those of you who know, 19mm and 3/4 are interchangeable. And so I'd say that's probably a bad injector. Man, none of these really want to cooperate. Probably be better if I just took these top covers off. I could get in there at a better angle, and I may do that. We'll see. Take special tool 134-2570, and it sets down over that injector. Takes a 9/16 socket, Ooh. We don't want to send this down in the engine, so we want to keep a hold of it. Okay, once you break it loose, bring it up here, set it out of the way. Unscrew the nut. It's kind of a cap. And then there's a tool. Let me get it. Alright, so this is the tool, and it's a CAT 3406 injector removal tool. About $100, I don't know, maybe more, 150. And you screw that, basically screw that slide hammer screw it into the injector as far as you can, and then just use this. There you go. There's your nozzle. Nice, huh? So we're going to leave that. We're going to take this nozzle off, clean it up, and set it aside. We won't be reusing these. These are cheap. This one's all carboned up. Pretty nasty, actually. So we're not going to reuse this, but what we will do is set it aside in case we have one go out. We can just do a hot swap and throw this one in there. Now what we'll do is while we got one out, we'll go get the camera and we'll go down in that hole and we'll see if we can see what's going on in there. Be right back. It's gonna work out okay. I wish I could get down in there and get that nut off of the other side of the injector line, but it's all right. You want to screw this down as deep as you can in the nozzle, because when you're banging on it, you don't want to bang out the top couple threads and then not be able to get the injector out, nozzle out. I'm going to get new injector lines. I know I should be bending these out of the way, but I am. I will likely, if this engine gets to where it turns over good, I'll likely put these nozzles back in. And I'll likely put these nozzles back in and try and start it. And these injector lines will just bend back into place just like they do, and it's not a huge deal. If I took this Jake cover off and then took the valve cover off, I could get in at them bolts. But, you know, I just don't feel like doing it if I don't need to. And I'm not 100% sure that I need to. Got 2 lines that haven't come off yet, but these are Reman injectors, and the reason why I say that is because the part number is hash marked out, and then there's another part number that's laser engraved, so I'm assuming that means they're rebuilt. Alright, well, because the back injector was underneath the firewall, I couldn't really use the puller very much. I did get it broke free with the puller, and then I laid a piece of steel across the plate and used a hook pry bar, and so now all the injectors are out. So I think I'm going to leave it hooked up here, go down and hook up the batteries, and then we'll get to wearing this thing over. I'll be back. All right, let's see. Whoa, look at that fountain in my hair. Love it. All right, let's get a look in there. Hopefully you guys saw that. Okay. Man, the thing really zings over nice. Got oil on the garage door. That shit went up there way far. Maybe just setting them on there will be good enough. And that's the back one. I think it matters. Really, I'm only setting these on there just to solve that oil leak. They're not going to be doing anything. As a matter of fact, they ain't even going to be touching nothing. The oil or the fuel injector lines are going to hold it up. Really. I don't know about you guys, but I don't see any reason why this crank's over slow. It's making compression. It sounds like, you know, you can use your ears for a lot, and that, granted, it's not a compression gauge, but you can hear all. get the oil cleaned out. All right, so I hear some scraping. Not 100% sure where it's coming from, but likely it's from the bottom end. I don't rightly know. All right, so we're going to change to lubricant in the cylinders. All right. Yep, I did. So, what do you guys think about that? It turns over pretty good. I thought I heard some scraping. Once I used some brake cleaner to clean out the cylinders, I kind of heard some scraping in there, but I don't know. It could have been anything, but it kind of sounded like a little scraping, like maybe a bearing. But man, the oil's too clean. There's no metal. If it was rolling a bearing over, there'd be some metal in there. Man, oh man, I don't know. I re-lubed the cylinders down, cranked it over a bunch more. Seems fine. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, guys. Maybe the I just don't know why it turns slow when you put compression, when you put injectors in it. Why is it it's so hard to get turning? We've tried several starters, several different battery combinations and cable combinations, and to be honest with you, you know, there's been a bunch of, well, maybe it's 24 volt, maybe it's not. It doesn't matter what the truck is, because I don't have the truck involved. I have a 12 volt starter, and I have 12 volts going to it, and I'm starting it with the jumper right on the starter. It's not going through the truck at all. Nothing in the truck is being powered. You know, it could be, I think I'm going to take the timing advance off and make sure that it's not apart, because you know, sometimes timing advance gets apart in these things, and I mean, it could be turning over hard because it's trying to inject fuel at the wrong time. I mean, it doesn't make sense that I have the fuel turned off on the truck and it would still be trying to do that, but I mean, it could be, and it could have just loaded them cylinders up with liquid. But you would have thought if it did that, it would have hydrolocked and would have just dead stopped. So I don't know. I don't know. I think I might, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't have any idea what exactly I want to do. But I think I'm going to take the timing advance off and just get a look at it. Maybe I'll bring this thing up and put it and pin it and make sure the timing is good. Maybe I won't take the timing advance off. Maybe I'll just bring it up and pin it and check the timing that way. I guess it could also be stuck and advanced. You know, I think that's a thing. But man, it just turns over too good. Of course, it's not going to do it for me now because the starter's smoldering down there. But I don't know. Might have my cousin swing by and see what he can do. But I'll get back with you. Alright guys, so my cousin came over and he said 3 and 6 cylinders are low. And so he said, take the oil filter off, cut it open, and see if there's any metal in it. And if there's metal in it, we'll take the head off. So if it's been on there a while. No bullshit. Okay. Alright. Okay. Snap on oil filter strap. Better than the one I got from Amazon that I already ruined. This one's a solid. Nice heavy duty strap. Nice snap on strap socket. Alright. Let the oil drip out. We'll let that drip out for a little while, then we'll be back. Yeah, so I use this oil filter cutoff tool. And you know, they're kind of, you know, they can be a little pricey, but they are nice. Ouch. Alright, so there's the unit, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a Stanley knife, cut that material out, take it out of this cage, and then we're going to take that material, probably the we'll cut it in a couple sections. We'll put it in the vise and we'll squeeze it all out, get all the oil out of it, and then go from there. Let me get a drain pan. Alright, so this is a kind of like a canister filter, just it's in a, you know, so we're gonna just cut, we're just gonna cut this material out, and we'll try and cut it all the way around. I can already tell you that it's loaded with metal, and but we're gonna squeeze it out anyways. We'll cut it in half. Okay, and we're going to put this part in the vise and we'll squeeze it out. I can feel the metal in it, and I'm going to tell you right now that he's right. It's got at least 2 cylinders that the piston is galling, the piston skirt is galling on the cylinder wall. So we'll put you over here. So you basically, you take the inside of the filter, you take a chunk of it, and then you get it in the vise, and it's going to oil the floor. It's really not a whole lot you can do about it. I am going to try and catch it in the old oil filter, but it's likely not going to do much. Now what I'm going to do is take this paper out, and then we'll open it up. Let's go outside where you can really appreciate what's about to happen. See all that metal in there? Yep. She's loaded, guys. It's official. The head's coming off. There's so much metal in there, and a lot of it is aluminum. And it's just crazy. Loaded with aluminum. There you go, guys. That's what happens when cylinders are eating pistons. All right, guys. So we got to do this again because the camera shut off for some reason, but this is just from handling this thing. And this is what an oil filter should look like when you cut it open, but this is what the oil filter looks like from Betty, and it's loaded with aluminum. There's a ton of rust in there. So this motor was junk. So this engine's been junk for a long time. So now we're gonna tear it apart. We'll get the hood off, radiator out, head off, oil pan off. We'll push the rods and pistons out. We'll get the block all cleaned. We'll check the crank, make sure the bearings are good. If the bearings are good, we're good, and we'll just clean it and roll new bearings in. If the bearings are trashed, we may have to take the crank out, and if that's the case, then the engine's got to come out. But it is what it is. And guys, we appreciate you. That's it for today. I'm gonna get it cleaned up, get that mess cleaned up, and start putting parts of that engine in bags. So when we put it back together, we'll be able to find all the pieces. But thanks for coming by. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't, and visit jamespretty.shop, www.jamespretty.shop. You can buy some swag. We'll get some Betty swag out there, and we'll use whatever money we make from selling Betty stuff to help Betty's bottom line or bottom end, and we appreciate you guys.